Hi, I'm Isla and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking through Annie Sloan's Decoupage book, and if you enjoy the video please think about hitting like and subscribe. It helps other people find my channel and it lets me know that you want to see more of these kind of videos. So when I first opened the book, the first image you come to definitely sets the scene. It's a very late 90s aesthetic. The book was published in 1997. And Annie's become very well known for her wildly successful chalk paint range, which a lot of people use in their own homes, and they create things like sort of shabby chic furniture. She's got an amazing YouTube channel which you should definitely seek out. I look for inspiration there all the time. I think that her colour range of pigments and her knowledge is second to none, and she's just incredible. And she's also written quite a lot of books which are brilliant, such as this one. I really love decoupage as a technique, and she goes through a sort of introduction on the technique which has been around for a long time, and it's quite an instructional book. And she takes you through, first of all, the types of objects that you could possibly decoupage on, how those sort of motifs are affected by the different backgrounds that you could choose to use, sources of decoupage, a little bit about copyright there, because you obviously can't sort of use everything. You can't photocopy lots of different motifs if they have copyright, but you can use sort of old things, old coloured pictures as well. And it's a very, as I say, it's a very instructional book. And I think that's because decoupage isn't really a difficult technique, but you need to be organised and you need to have the right materials and tools and surfaces to work on. So it's brilliant. It's a brilliant guide on how to do it. So as I said here, there's preparing surfaces and what you might need for that. And everything looks quite easy to find. Nothing has changed too much. Sometimes when I look through these books, they've got sort of oil-based paints and things that aren't around, but everything looks easy to find. I love this frame. I think that's so dreamy, just completely beautiful. And these are the tools and materials to get you going with the actual decoupage bit. Again, all very accessible, I feel. There's lots of helpful tips. Like, I actually think this is quite helpful, how to get a picture of heavy card using vinegar, sealing the motif so that the paper doesn't become fragile when you varnish it, chopping up a motif into sections so that you can glue it round a round object, tea staining to get it looking older, which looks lovely. How to sort of colour and tint black and white images. I use water-soluble pencils a lot in my own designs. I absolutely love them. They're a great way to add quite a light tint, but you can control the colour and sort of build it up to something more intense as well. I just adore them. I should use them more, actually. How to sort of merge in a background by painting the background, gluing down. I think the photocopies, the motifs can get quite fragile, so she sort of addresses how to glue down delicate work. Here are the varnishes and finishings, things like crackle glazes. And this is so beautiful, mixing pigments into the varnish. And this is where I think her sort of fine art training comes into work, because it's just so pretty how she's done that. I think the crackle varnish here is just amazing. It looks like an old plate or something. So effective. Here's different projects you could kind of consider. Love the tray, love the frame, absolutely gorgeous. And here we get to the sort of application and the basic techniques. I love that kind of traditional decoupage. I love like a kind of Victorian decoupage scene. Love it. Especially I really enjoy this sort of scales and when they get a bit surreal, like this sort of giant rabbit here and then the sort of giant frog. I think that's really fun. decoupage on glass. There's 2 designers I can think of off the top of my head. Bridie Hall of the amazing shop Pentreath Hall, she uses this technique, and John Darien in the States, and it's absolutely beautiful, and it just shows you what a sort of variety of looks and aesthetics you can get by choosing different motifs. I've also seen Nicholas Fairford as well. He's a YouTuber. I've seen him doing decoupage as well. I think it's definitely a technique that needs to come back, and is back really. There's a lot of metal leaf, gold leaf being used in the book as well, which is really, really effective. I've used that quite a few times myself. It's very easy. And really, if you're somebody who enjoys gluing and sticking like me, it's a very relaxing activity. It's a lovely, lovely thing to do. This is one of my absolute favourite projects in the book. I think it's so clever. I have actually seen something like this in a big kind of grand country house, and I can't remember where I've stored the photo, but it's so clever the way she sort of painted in this sky technique, which she talks about here, and then she's even chopped the motifs so the tree spreads across the 2 different drawers. And then again you see her sort of fine art training, because she's hand painting in the sort of grass and the shadows. It's just very beautiful and very clever. It's definitely something I want to have a go at. I adore the little pearls around this box, and my favourite has to be this, the curtain pole. She's very cleverly glued round strips of tissue paper and then painted on the berries, and I just think it's divine, just divine. More metal leaf for a sort of chinoiserie effect again. Ooh, that's quite something. The gold standard lamp. Print room is something I've always wanted to do myself. It's such an amazing technique. If you've got a really long hallway like I do, I'm living in a Victorian house and it would cost a fortune to wallpaper. I often think about doing this sort of print room technique. Very effective, and she is very prescriptive in how she describes how to do it. I wish you could find these blank wastepaper baskets. She says they're something like particle board, which I think means MDF, but it's difficult to find those. Maybe somebody knows. If you know, leave me a comment. I think there's a few on Etsy, but not very many. How to make your own stencils, silhouettes, which are gorgeous. And you can really see the sort of breadth here of different styles, I think. There's really sort of something for everybody. Ways of upscaling furniture. This is just heaven. I think that's so beautiful, the sort of faux marker tree with a tulip design. And then at the back, she's got lots of decoupage motifs that you're free to use. They're copyright free, so you can blow them up, scale them up and use them in your own projects. There's a supplier list at the end. It's sad to see that I think most of these suppliers, I only recognise a handful, but London Graphic Centre is absolutely brilliant, as is Green and Stone. It's a fabulous book, and I highly recommend seeking it out for some lovely projects. Thanks for watching. Until next time.